not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And in this dissertation here, I'm going to talk about black men who love their white ruler, who love their white daddy. Now, we always hear about the black female and she made some sort of alliance with the white man, you know, she gets her check, her allowance, you know, she'll call on the white man to get a black dude locked up in a heartbeat. And, you know, and she's really head over heels over, you know, her oppressor. But, you know, we know that black men are also infatuated with his oppressor, the white women. You know, and I did a whole big spiel on how white females are still part of the white power structure, how they were still part of and helped orchestrate the slave trade, because there was white women in power in Europe. You know, as a matter of fact, look how much power the queen has and so forth, especially when it comes to Africa and you know what I'm saying, all the malarkey that went there. Now, but here, let me get into the nucleus of my argument. Now, we know that, you know, we have a lot of these Genchis and black conservatives, you know, black Republicans that want to sit side by side with the, you know what I'm saying, with the white man or the white conservative or the white power structure, side with them. In a lot of ways they want to be shoe shine boys, but in other ways they want to be equal too. You know, they agree upon what anything he says. They're like yes bosses, as a, you know, like, you know, like stopping, you don't see them protest against stuff like stop and frisk, and they, you know what I'm saying, it's like they don't have a voice of their own, these Genchis do. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, it's funny how some of these black dudes who claim to be maybe militant are a little bit Afrocentric, support, you know, certain blacks on YouTube who are very conservative minded and seem like they're Tea partiers, even though they don't say so. Hence, so, and to me that's a big hypocrisy, because these same black dudes who don't like Fox News, who won't watch Glenn Beck, will listen to another black man almost speak just like, will say the same things Glenn Beck would say verbatim. So, you know, that's funny. But what I wanted to turn over a different stone here. That a lot of these black dudes who are derelicts, who are nothing, who don't really have much to show for themselves, that don't work, these same black men that the black Genchis criticize and feel like these black men represent the maximum population in the so-called black community, which I use the word community very loosely now. These people are also cling on to their white daddy. Yep, you heard it right. A lot of these black street thugs, black men who live with women, who ain't got a pot to piss in, who don't take care of their children. Yeah, believe it or not, you know, I was just thinking about it the other day, how, and these are the same black dudes who go back in jail, got problem with child support, that they'll just talk real bad and real down to the white man and this and that, and then they'll criticize other black men for, you know what I'm saying, trying to be quote unquote white or trying to talk white and so forth, like me, you know. And I'm like, this is perplexing. And the reason why I say this, that these so-called black men, you know what I'm saying, are just in love with their white daddy's power structure, is because they really don't do anything to try to change it. Not only that, they represent every single stereotype the so-called white man imposed on us. You know, they live in an environment crafted by the white man himself. I'm like, take the projects forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about all black neighborhoods, because just like I said, when I say the black community, that's very vague. I'm like, there's, you know what I mean? I don't want to lump it all together, because there's some black communities that don't like dealing with trash. You know, and I commend those black dudes that's willing to take out the trash. But there's some black housing projects that are nothing more than breeding grounds. It goes back into the slavery days. You know what I'm saying? The places where they breed slaves, breed the black women, you know, have a certain buck and breed her with what they consider a winch. You know, because they called all black women winches back then. Now and as I said, Negro bed winch is another term that we took from the white man, and we use it, and you know what I'm saying, very freely. But, and so forth. And that's what the projects is. You know, I'm like, there's no denying that. You know, when you see all these females having kids, I'm like, it's the same shit looped over. You know what I mean? Nothing changes. Everything's recycled back and forth. And the thing is, these type of environments where the black man can just function as a child, as having no responsibility, not really caring too much for his future, and it's considered acceptable. You know, I'm like, this kind of environment, it was just completely, it was designed. You know, I'm like, it was a design. I'm like, even in third world countries, South America or Africa, the North American black man can't get away with his shit. I'm like, yeah, there's poor people. There's probably poor men who sit on their ass because there's no work. You know, I'm like, even still, they're expected to do some kind of work. I'm like, when your balls are to the walls, you know, I'm like, you at least go out and try to fucking hunt food. You know what I mean? Stab something with a spear. You know, do something, you know. But, you know, these black dudes, you know, as I would say, like Tarek Nasheed say, that they're just comfortable. Me personally, I'll call them stationary black men because they don't want to move, you know, and they are comfortable with the environment that was crafted by their white conquerors. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to go nowhere. Also, they don't even feel a threat by the working black man that wants to be a provider. You know, if I'm just cruising by, you know, and it's obvious I got a job, maybe I drive an ice cream truck and this and that, I come across a black female, you know, and I want to put my demo down or whatever, and I explain to her that, you know, you know what I'm saying, I'll just say, hey, I want to be your provider, you know what I'm saying, I want to provide for you, and so forth, even if she's not at work. A lot of times these other black dudes who don't have anything, who leech off females, won't even look at dudes like me as a threat. Hence, because they got game and they're in their 30s and they're still worried about fucking looks, that they feel that they got these females locked down. And the only reason why they got these females locked down is some of these hood type females, you know what I'm saying, is because these females are already being taken care of by the state, by the county, and so forth. So these black men do not have to provide for them financially. You know what I'm saying? The government powers already do that. You know, only thing they have to do is go by their looks and swag. You know, so hence, and these people are not gonna, these sort of black men, you know what I'm saying, aren't gonna rebel against this system. They're comfortable with the way things are. Hence, if I was in some third world shithole, some shanty town or whatever, and I'm a dude that, you know, has a car, has a job and can provide, and I come across some female that is distraught, that is I would say struggling, there's no way a dude, a black man who lives like a parasite can even remotely compete with me. You know, I'm like, she's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's logical for a female. It's not a money thing. It ain't the females being materialistic, you know, unless she got a whole bunch of kids by him and so forth. But still, you know, she's going to go in my direction. It's just that you have a lot of black men, so-called black men in the so-called black community, and I use the term community loosely, that may feel threatened by dudes like me. That'll just write me off as a lame, as a stiff, or trying to be white, which I don't, I can't even fathom that, and so forth. And just like I said before, they're almost satisfied with this realm that they live in, even though they'll talk about the white man this, the white devil that, and so forth. But still, they're not making any sort of type of moves. I'm like, hence, if you want to prove the white man wrong, just stay out of jail. Don't be another stat. Take care of your kids, take care of your family. I'm like, they're dancing to the devil's violin. But they'll look at me as someone that's brainwashed and someone that's lost and so forth. They sit around, smoke Swisher Sweets and listen to fucking Tupac all day. And housing that was provided for them by the infrastructure and so forth. Also, these dudes, as I said before, I worked at a jail. A lot of these dudes, they love going back in and out of jail. And I'm like, there's times when I used to get off shift and inmates would be OR. An inmate would be OR. I mean, he's released. By the time I return back to work, that inmate is right back in the system. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, like he was out and back before I even got back to work. I'm like, God damn, it hasn't even been 16 hours. That's a true story. That actually, there was a dude who was actually like that. I was looking at him like, I told him, hey man, you got a twin brother? But I guess when the police officers slapped those handcuffs on some of these so-called black men, or I would say children, maybe that's they're getting the discipline their father never gave them. Maybe they like that, But anybody who could run back and forth into jail and come back on the streets and lay up in some nice warm pussy, excuse my French, I'm like, why would he want to change that? I'm like, it's already proven that this dude does not want to work. This dude does not want to take any sort of responsibility. So why would he want to change his circumstances? He hangs out with his homeboys or whatever. They smoking and this and that. They got girls. They operate in their circle, in their semi-circle. When they go get out of jail, they don't feel ashamed. They ain't like people wagging their fingers like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Hence, my thing is, at some point you just got to say, you commit the crime and you do the time and so forth. But yeah, that's what I pretty much wanted to touch down on.